Hello and welcome to a third episode of Royal Realms of Wolvesville. Today we're going to follow the evil detective, and I'm going to say of course who that is. That is going to be number 14, and as you can see, a lot of information is already going on. As usual, we have an info storm on day 1. Let me explain a little bit what is going to happen here. 14 is getting confirmed good by one of the aura seers, by 8 specifically. 14 gives some information, claims detective, 15 claims detective, and 7 also claims detective but reclaims Baker. At the moment we know that 7 isn't on the same team as 4. This is the info from 15, and the info from 14 is that 5 and 8 are not on the same team. That is of course an aggressive claim, since you basically state that one of them is fake at least. And that means that some conflict is going to take place. In this case, of course, it's very suspicious that there are still 2 detectives. There's also 2 aura seers, but yeah, I mean, aura seers can be RVs, and we have 3 RVs in this game. In terms of the RV claims, we see that 1 is RV claim, 4 claimed RV, 6 claimed RV with 2 bell ringers, 7 claimed RV, 8 and 12 technically claimed RV as well, one of them. And of course 11 claims RV. 14 got some bread by 7 and actually confirms that 7 did give the bread, which creates some sort of trust between 7 and 14 here. Like 14 can no longer push 7 at any point, because that would just be suspicious. And 7 does trust 14 for now, and as you can see, 8 was werewolf, goes down, meaning 12 is pretty much confirmed aura seer. Let's go to night 2 and see who will die here. So at the moment there's 2 non-claims, which is 9 and 16. They are probably important rolls or bad. And there goes the warden, no protection, they did claim. 4 reclaims doctor, wasn't red lady. And now we have more info once again, of course. 14 gives negative info, specifically says that 2 and 3 are not on the same team. 2 is one of the 2 bell ringers, which can be a suspect right away, and 3 claims a fixed role, but isn't very clear about what role that is. We'll probably have to claim soon, but yeah, otherwise it's still not gonna be a guarantee lynch for 3, because 2 is also still suspect, so I guess this information by 14 is pretty valid. 11 said that 15 is blue, which gives 15 credits, well, even though evil detective hasn't killed, but yeah, the werewolves have, and they are the majority of the evils. 2 get shot here by 16, which is meaning that 3 is gonna be framed as evil by 14. 3 claims medium, which is probably something to buy some time, but maybe 3 is real medium. In that case 14 might die very soon, because if that's the case, well, then obviously the village knows that 14 is a liar. Still, some people suspect 7 of being fake detective, but yeah, 7 did reclaim Baker a long time ago and was already confirmed good by 14. 1 also claimed Baker, by the way, which is interesting. We have 2 Bakers maybe in this game. 9 is going offline again. 9 is constantly going offline and online. Let's see what our evil detective is gonna do this night, which we are following of course, because they play this game really well. And I really want to highlight what 14 does, so that you can maybe learn from that as well as I have learned from this. 14 now says that 1 is not on the same team as 5, and as like last day, they are both still scapegoats. 9 is medium, by the way, and 10 confirmed that 10 is just backup, which means that 3 is evil. At the moment we have a lot of people who are confirmed evil, or high suspects at least. For 14, the ideal scenario here is to not interact with 15, even though 15 is detective. And even though 15 is the main competitor, if 15 dies, that would be a mislynch, but it's also immediately being exposed. Whilst 1, 5 and 6 are all still scapegoats that they can touch on. And perhaps one of them is actually gonna be a villager, which is ideal. And as well as that 9, 10 and 11 are all confirmed good. 12 is also confirmed good. 4 is confirmed good. So yeah, there isn't really much claim space anyways. This is really where the focus has to go to. 1 is getting pushed by pretty much the entire village. Also, something interesting to say is that 15 got bread from 1, but claims that 7 has given it, which could be the case, I think. I think that bakers do still give bread even if they die that night. But yeah, that is kind of hard for Wonders. I think one had to claim earlier in this case, but yeah. Regardless, one goes down. The entire village made a mistake here, and of course 14 is going to benefit from that. 15, by the way, last day, very important, was the only one to claim a nightmare, which could be a problem for 14, the evil detective, because that means that 15 has more credibility, because they're the only nightmare claim, and the nightmare werewolf is clearly still in the game. And now we see something important happen. 15 is killed by the werewolves, which is a clear sign from them that 14 is not detective. This is a very clear sign from the werewolves. By killing the detective, you basically frame the other detective immediately as a suspect, especially since it has been a theme for the entire game already, like who is the right detective. At the same time, we see that 6 is confirmed evil because the info of 15 stays, and the info of 15 is that 1 and 6 are not on the same team. 14 is going to downplay this right now though, by being a little bit relaxed, not doing that much, not gonna attract extra attention, which is very important if you are like an important evil role, like a solo role or a very strong werewolf that really needs to make it to the end game. You rather do not attract much attention, and in this case, they even claim evil detective. Why? Because there are still 3 werewolves, and if they don't claim evil detective, well, the werewolves have free space to actually just push 14 out, and in this case, 14 can clearly just collaborate with the village to get rid of some werewolves. It's a little bit hard. 14 really gives the village the power to vote for whoever they want, just to sugarcoat them pretty much. 3 is gonna be the target here, and 14 is one of the players that votes them. But 11 is also getting voted, because 11 is pretty much someone who the werewolves despise apparently. And there goes the alpha werewolf, which is good for 14, because 3 werewolves is really not very nice at this stage for an evil detective. But you will need, of course, some werewolves, because if you kill all the werewolves by this stage, well, clearly the village is gonna just outvote you. Let's see what happened this night. Actually, something I want to mention, it was also mentioned in the chat, is that the warden could have prevented all of this very easily by jailing 14 and 15 in that one night that after they got revived. They had lived one night and one day. If they had jailed that and given the weapon, then in that case 14 would have died, and this game would have looked totally different, especially given how many kills 14 has actually committed on the village. And also last night again, the village is gonna blame 14 for actually killing villagers, which is understandable, because why would you kill villagers? But 14 explains that they just wanted to prevent a village win, which is not something I would say really as evil detective when you try to get support from the village, because you basically frame them as enemies. But he also makes himself likable again by giving the keys and decision to the village, and he literally says, if you lynch me for that, go ahead, as if it's not like something very bad that he killed a villager along with the werewolves. Now, indeed, he also gives the village the time to vote. He actually has the ability to keep his head cool and let the werewolves vote him, and the village actually responds by voting the werewolves. And 6 is going down, 6 is Nightmare Werewolf. And now the evil detective has pretty much won if they get a double kill, or if just one villager and the werewolf die. Even if it's just by the werewolves and the evil detective, that can also be the case of course, then it is already over and the evil detective will win the game. And that is exactly what happens. 5 gets killed by the evil detective and 11 gets killed by the werewolves. And this is how the evil detective has won. Very cool. First of all, they claimed detective, which is of course a bit tricky, and yeah, it seems like that's an easy path to go, but it's not as easy as it seems like, because you are not always guaranteed to get info, as well as that you have to make the right decisions on what type of info you give, but it's certainly doable, as you just saw. And it's also very important to sugarcoat the village when you are pretty much exposed as fake detective. So that is how 14 won, and I think you and I can both learn a lot from this clip. Bye. If you loved what you just saw, then make sure to check out this juicy video I have here for you. You can also subscribe and turn on epic notifications to never miss a future upload. My social links, including Discord server, are in the link tree. Link is in the description. I will see you later, and don't be a traitor.